Hello everyone, my name is TJ and welcome back to another video here on the channel. It is time for yet another race here in RSF1 Season 6 in Division 3, and it's time for Singapore. That means we have skipped over Italy, and that is because I had a prom. I'm in my final year of school and I've actually just finished my final exams, so I have a lot more time on my hands. With all that extra time I have now, I'm looking to explore a little bit more of the content creation side on YouTube, take this a little bit more serious maybe. And perhaps when F1 22 comes out, start a career mode series. I'm not too sure, I might. I have to look into that. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's still F1 2021 we're playing now, and we are warming up for the Singapore qualifying. After getting on the podium in my home race at Sanford, we're looking to set forward this trend of performance I've been having, and well, really looking forward to this race. I've enjoyed this track, and well, let's get into qualifying. Just like last week, we don't have many drivers attending this race, and that means we can skip through Q1 pretty much, because unless you crash, just like the two drivers have done, you're guaranteed a spot in Q2. So let's head to Q2. So here we are now, and we've just come in the garage to set a invalid lap on soft tires as a banker lap. I invalidated on purpose because I really do not want to start on the softs, and if by some miracle you get through on your banker lap and you invalidate your medium run, you're starting on very old softs, so just invalidate it in case. And we now go out on the medium tire. I think you really only want to be starting this race on medium tires unless you're doing a two-stop, because softs they don't go very long into the race, perhaps 4 or 5 laps, and then the mediums are becoming faster. So I really wanted to get through on mediums, and we're starting our flying lap now, going into turns 1, 2 and 3. It's a really tricky combination of corners, but it's really lovely as well. And obviously nothing spectacular in qualifying, so as we come to the end of it, we go through the fast left-hander and across the line. It isn't enough for the top 10. It's P5, and I think that's good enough for Q3. So come to the end of the session, it is only just about P8 and P10 for my teammate. So we go through to qualifying 3. So as we come to Q3, we're getting ready to start our first lap here in the session. And there was rain scheduled for pretty much at the end of the session, so I made sure to get a good few laps in, and perhaps I wanted to do a few more back-to-back, so I fueled up enough to go back-to-back. And here we go on our first flying lap, and as we skip through it to the end of the lap, it is going to be I believe a quite decent lap. I was pretty happy with it, and it's going to be a 1:36.8, but we go again straight away. I want to set another lap. We have fuel enough to go again, but we invalidate straight away in turn 2, and that means we'll have to return to the pits for another set of softs and some more fuel. But it's already started raining with 6 minutes to go. As you can see on the screen, there are a few droplets there, and that means the track is only getting worse, and running on it is pretty much useless, and that pretty much means the end of the session. And that means we've also secured a P6 on the grid for the race, and I'd say that's quite decent. I hadn't done a lot of practice, so I was happy with the position. So let's head to the race. So coming into the race, I was absolutely convinced the medium to hards was the faster strategy. But apparently on this game it is not anymore. I had completely forgotten. I hadn't touched this track in a race mode for so long. So to my surprise, the medium soft is actually quite decent. And I believe I still have a fresh set of softs from qualifying, so we might attempt that strategy. I kept in mind the laps I had to pit, but my preferred strategy was still the mediums to hard. But anyways, here we go now at the end of the formation lap. We're getting ready to form onto the grid. Going to have to wait for a few cars behind us, but it won't take too long. And here are the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go, and it's an average start. Footy Master obviously on the softs with a great start. Fruit Boy as well on medium tires. Round the outside he goes straight away. We have to concede the position, and it's 3 wide up ahead with Steph Huefi, Braver Container and Footy Master on the soft tires. Now Yorkie tries it round the outside, also on the softs. Footy Master gets a shocker of an exit and holds up Fruit Boy, so we go back round the outside, but straight away he dives it back up the inside, and it was 3 wide there for a brief moment, so I decide to back out of it. Although Yorkie, we don't let him overtake us. Ziki though, Zaki, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he has overtaken us as well, also on the soft tires, so we decide not to fight it. Yorkie tries a move around the outside, in other words, no space at all, and we get hit from behind. Luckily we don't run into the wall, And it looks like that we have survived the opening round for now. Steffi Weffy Gamer is very slow, gets overtaken by Skiki. And we're still being put under pressure by Yorkie. Is he going to make a move up the inside? No, he thinks better of it and stays put behind me. But wow, that was one hectic of a few opening corners. Oh, and that's Steffi Weffy in the wall. The Mercedes is in the wall. We leave him some space in case he ungoes for some reason. And that's another position gained as we've lost 2 off the start. So we are in 7th now, starting in 6th. So that's only 1 position lost to Ziki, I guess. And there's already a virtual safety car, perhaps, for Steffi Weffy, that is. But wow, that was one hectic opening lap. And obviously it's way too early to pit, so we skipped to the end of the virtual safety car. And it lasted quite some time, but on the restart it's a very poor restart. So we're unable to put pressure on the guys ahead, and there isn't any pressure from behind. So we fast forward a couple of laps to the lap where Footy Master is in the pits. These soft tires are already becoming very slow. The medium tires has more advantage at this stage of the race already. And that's what I said in qualifying. I really wanted to start on the mediums, not on the softs, because the softs, they just die out so quickly. But we now have the job to put pressure on Ziki as he's still on the soft tires. Just like Footy Master, his tires will die out soon as well. So we will be able to overtake him fairly quickly, I believe. And as we come to the end of lap 6, Ziki decides to stay out on his soft tire. And we have managed to close up the gap fairly quickly, so we're right behind him now, and we're going to be in the DRS zone. But obviously Ziki will also have DRS on Fruit Boy ahead of him, and Fruit Boy is still in the medium tires. And if we were able to get ahead of him, that would be amazing, as our teammate is into the pits. I don't know what tire he started on. I believe on the mediums. I believe he qualified on the medium tires. But anyway, Ziki might fancy a move on Fruit Boy here on the back straight. Is he going to go for it down the inside? He switches very late. Does he make it work? Ah, Fruit Boy keeps it round the outside. Very well done from the Ferrari driver. And Ziki has to stay behind for now. But, well, this is a very nice battle. I can see it unfold right ahead of me. And hopefully we can participate in it very soon as well. But we just have to be that little bit closer to make a move on Ziki, maybe. And there is another very short DRS zone coming up after this very tricky section here. Left, right, left. And then this right-hander. We've seen Steffi Weffy lose his Mercedes here before on the opening lap. So we don't want that to happen to us. Ziki goes a little bit wide. Can we maybe make a move? But he also has DRS. I forgot about that for a second. And it looks like it's going to be impossible for us to make a move as long as the car ahead has DRS. So we really want to be that second car in the train. And that means we have to make a move. Maybe somewhere audacious. We have a look. Try to offset the Ziki off his line. But that didn't work. And we now have to stick behind. And we lost some time by trying that. So the gap is now half a second. And not even a second to Fruit Boy. So it's very close racing here. And also Yuzgin has caught up to us behind, and he's now the 4th car in this train. And onto another DRS zone we go, and Ziki actually decides to pit very late. He goes into the pits there. Obviously his soft tire wearing out. And a lap later, lap 9, we are very close to Fruit Boy now. And obviously he has no DRS because there's no car in 1 second ahead of him. Eagle, he is absolutely out of this world. That's at 6.5 seconds ahead of me. So 6 seconds ahead of Fruit Boy. And if you look on the minimap, the Ferrari of Van Gijsen is even further ahead of him. But we focus our attention to the other Ferrari because we are going to make a move on the back straight. Very easy, DRS wide open, deploy the ERS, and that's the move done even before the braking zone comes round. And we are now up into 3rd position. And if you fast forward to just a single lap later, we've already extended the gap to over a second and closed the gap to Eagle by half a second. So we are on the pace. But the safety car has been deployed.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
And Jeff comes over the radio with a strategy suggestion. But we are going to box for the hard tires. And we're going to try to go to the end of the race on them. So we're going to go to the pits now. And as we come into the pits, I was really looking at what the guys ahead of me were doing. Eagle obviously first box into the pit. So I can see he put on the hard tires. So I decide to put on the hard tires as well. Van Gijsen decides to actually stay on the medium, so he has to do another stop in this race for probably a set of soft tires. And we come out of the pits still in 3rd place, and I was very pleased with that. So as we skip to the end now of the safety car period, we have Braver Container behind, also in the medium, so he will have to stop once again in this race for probably also a set of soft tires, just like Van Gijsen. And Van Gijsen now is setting the pace, and he is gone. going into the final corner, and we have been sleeping a little bit. Our tires are very cold, so I couldn't really plant the power. Braver Container though, very close into turn 1. He's going to challenge us round the outside. I have to line through the corner, and we squeeze him out, but we touch and we tangle, and we're round and we're into the wall, and that's our race over. Well guys, that's it for today. The race came to an early end, not as I had planned, and we were looking good for some solid points, but it is not to be. Braver Container also retired from the race. I decided not to send in the clip to the stewards because it was just a tangle. Not much either of us could have done there. I think that the game, the physics mess up a little bit. But anyways, if you have enjoyed this rather short video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time for what is the Japanese Grand Prix, and that is I believe quite an exciting race, so make sure to tune in for that one as we look at a replay of the crash. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.